Hello there folks, and welcome to a kind of new type of video on my channel. I'm going to try to do some board game reviews, although I wouldn't really say it's a review because I'm still not that experienced with board games. I play board games quite casually. This time we have Crusader Kings, the board game, and I started off with this because I had the opportunity to try it out during ParadoxCon 2018, and then it was launched last year, 2019. And I was given a press copy together with the expansion pack, advisory expansion pack, and I've had the time to play it now in the last couple of months. And basically, it's a collaboration between Paradox Interactive, who made the PC games, and Free League Publishing, who are experts at making board games. Although I have personally not tried any of their other board games, from the experience I've had with Crusader Kings, I think they are probably pretty good at least translating PC games into the board game world. Again, my experience with board games is very limited, but my experience with Crusader Kings is actually almost fanatical. I have thousands of hours in it, and I even played the original Crusader Kings, even though I'm not that old. And my experience with this board game in particular, I mean, it's quite complex, actually. Although Empire at Arms, for example, the Napoleonic war game, is way more complex. So this is somewhere in between, and at the end of the day, it's actually not as complicated as it may look when you first open the booklet. I think the rules are kind of not explained in perfect order. You have to jump around in the booklet quite a lot, which can be quite frustrating. But it does come with lots of scenarios, and you can play your way through the game. They recommend having max 5 players, but at least 3 players. You have the opportunity to play single player if you wish. Although personally, I think if you're gonna play single player for this kind of board game, you might as well be playing the computer game. Especially since it's an old computer game now. You know, it's you shouldn't really need a massive beast of a computer to run that, especially considering the price tag on the board game. Of course, it depends on where you are, but I think it's priced at around 70 to 80 euros or dollars for the base game, and I think should be about $20 or more and euros for the expansion pack. Basically, the board game is, you play it, and it's not really a competitive game in the terms of, you know, oh, I am the best because I won, which can be very frustrating to some players who like to win. But you still do win, but it's very random. Instead of dice based or purely strategy based, it's very random because you basically, there are strategies to get better traits, but everything is based on traits that you get on the board and that you get through events. And events are mostly, on your part, fired through the player that is sitting to your right. So when they do something, you get effects from that event, which can lead to some very interesting stories. For example, in one of my playthroughs with a friend of mine, I married my character to a wife that was available on the board, and then when my family died without children, I actually decided to put her back on the board as the leader of this independent province because my realm was split up and scattered, and then I pretended that the person who took over the throne was now a distant cousin of mine who wanted to avenge the lunatic, as she was, I think, was called. You know, and have her dead, or at least her family dead, and reconquer his cousin's territories. Which I think is really the core of Crusader Kings, the PC game as well. So, if you're looking for a good experience in terms of stories, and you have the time and the money and the friends that are interested in this kind of playthrough, definitely worth checking out. If you're looking for a game that you can play and you can be sure that you're going to win, or that you're only going to play once with your friends, considering the price and the complexity and the time investment that it is to actually learn all the rules and set up the board, maybe it's not worth your time, but that's obviously up to everyone to decide. For me, as a Crusader Kings fan, I think it's kind of fun having this game on top of my shelf and bring out whenever the opportunity arises. That's all for me. Thank you so much for listening. I hope to see you in a future video about more board games. If you have experiences with a board game, or if you have any questions, do let me know down below in the comments. Goodbye.